Hello everyone, welcome back to Road Reg. So on today's video, we are going to be finally doing a review on the Michelin PS4 tyres, and I'm going to explain to you why I think this tyre is the perfect tyre for the M140i or any performance car if you can't get hold of the Michelin PS4 4S in your tyre size. And the way we're going to do this video is I'm going to break the tyre down into categories, and that way I can cover all aspects of the tyre. So let's get straight into it. So as we're talking about the M140i, no, they are not expensive. They're actually really well priced for such a high performance tyre. Obviously, price all depends on your tyre size, but for the M140i, they are really affordable. I think I paid about £450 for them, fitted and balanced, including the tyre, so that's in total. And I think that's fantastic value for money. So this is a really tricky question to answer, guys, because the M140i, like I've said before in my Goodyear video, it has an electronic steering rack. Now, you don't get much feel from one of those anyway, so it's tricky to compare the two tyres, but I can tell you that on track the Goodyears definitely feel better than the PS4s. They're a bit more responsive on the turn-in, just the way they react quicker with the steering input, and the rear end feels much more planted than the PS4s. I had the PS4s on track at Goodwood, and I didn't get a chance to adjust the tyre pressures because it was a very spontaneous track day. I didn't know I was going to be on track. I just got one session and I just went for it basically, and I think my tyre pressures got up to about 37 psi, which is fairly hot. It's not crazy hot, but it's getting there, and the rear end just felt loose. And the guy behind me, when we got back into the pits, was telling me that I was basically sliding everywhere. But that's more of a dry grip thing rather than feel, but I didn't feel confident in those tyres on the track. I think with a bit of adjustment, doing a session, coming back into the pits, and then reducing the pressures, I think they would be okay on track. They're definitely passable. So if you're doing just 1 or 2 track days a year and you just want to use those PS4s to do it all, you definitely can use them on track. Just be careful with your tyre pressures. So this is a tricky question to answer because tyre noise isn't just based on the tyre, it's about how well insulated the car is and the way it's set up. So for example, in a 5 Series, you could potentially have double glazed glass. It's going to be better insulated. It's a more premium car. It's more expensive. So if I had the PS4s on a 5 Series, it might be quieter than having them on the M140i. So it's a tricky one to answer, but I can definitely confirm that they are slightly quieter than the Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sport, of which I have on the car now. The Goodyears seem to have this weird resonant frequency when you're just cruising on the motorway. It's quite high pitched. I don't remember having that in the PS4s, but like I said, it's been a while since I've had those tyres on the car, so this is just based on my current memory. So in terms of dry grip, these tyres are absolutely fantastic on the road. I do not think you need any more grip on a standard powered M140i. Now bear in mind, mine has the diff on it, but I did run these tyres on a standard diff M140i, and even with the open diff, they were absolutely fantastic. They kind of remind me of what the Super Sports felt like in the dry, but obviously once you get on track, you're going to just need to watch those tyre pressures and make sure that you're not overheating the PS4s. But in terms of dry grip on the road, they are faultless. I mean, if you're driving a stage 3 M140i with 480 horsepower, then you might start to see their weakness in the dry, and potentially it would be a good idea to consider some Cup 2s or something. But we're talking about a tyre to do it all. We can't get the Michelin PS4 4S in our size, so it has to be the PS4 unless you want to go to 19-inch wheels or bigger. So I think dry grip for me, I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10 on the road. On track, I'm going to say 7 out of 10. So absolutely fantastic performance from the PS4s in the dry. They are confidence inspiring, and they just grip and grip, and you guessed it guys, and grip some more. Right, I'm about to show you a very interesting clip we're going to be doing a 0 to 60 launch in the M140i with the Michelin PS4 tyres installed, in the worst possible conditions you could ever ask for in a rear-wheel drive car. Let me set the scene for you guys. It's winter, it's cold, it's getting dark, and it is absolutely chucking it down with rain. Why would you do a 0 to 60 launch in those conditions? Well, let me show you something. There's no one behind me. Let's see how the traction control copes with everything. Here we go, ready? That's flat out. Look at that. No problems. That was foot hard down. Wow, that's impressive, guys. That is impressive. Guys, these tyres in the wet are absolutely phenomenal. So much so that I was in shock. I did not think the M140i was capable of handling the way it did with these Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. So going from the PS4s to the Goodyears was quite eye-opening to me, because immediately after I had these fitted, a couple of days after, we had some really bad rain. And I tried to drive these tyres, you know, like I did with the PS4s, you know, just exiting out of a roundabout onto a dual carriageway, you know, like a right-hander, then a left. You apply the throttle gently and the back end would do a little wiggle. And I was quite surprised by that. And then I went to Bedford and did a wet track day in the Goodyears, and I'll pop a link in the description for that video so you can see exactly how they perform in the wet. But the car was kind of felt like it was on ice, and I had a lock-up situation as well, and I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have happened with the PS4s, because they have pretty much the best braking performance of any high-performance tyre, from what I've seen on the internet anyway, and I can definitely guarantee that from my own experience. But I'll pop a little clip in now of me going around a bend and applying the throttle with the PS4s, and just watch how stable the car is. And bearing in mind, guys, this was in January. It's cold, wet, the roads are really greasy, the worst possible conditions for a rear-wheel drive car. Just watch how stable the car is around this bend. So in terms of wet weather performance, the PS4 tyres get a straight 10 out of 10, guys. So much so that I actually fell in love with my car again when I went from the Super Sports to the PS4s. I wasn't actually aware that the M140i could handle like it does with the PS4 tyres on it. It makes the car almost feel four-wheel drive. I know that's a bit of a cliche. Don't tell any Audi guys I said that, because they're going to hate that, because you can't really compare Quattro to rear-wheel drive. But yeah, it truly transformed the car. They are confidence-inspiring in braking, lateral grip, even in cold weather. They just make the car feel safe and stable. And a lot of people say that the M140i is a leery, skittish car on the limit, but you pop these PS4s on, guys, and I promise you, on standard power, you won't have that problem. It's a very soft compound, and obviously the harder compound you get, maybe the less grip you get, but you get more wear. So it's just about finding that balance. And I personally think the PS4s strike a really good balance between grip and wear. However, this is kind of redundant what we're talking about now, because Michelin have just released the PS5 tyre. Now, from what I've read on the internet, the grip is better, but most importantly, it has a better wear rate as well. So this is fantastic, guys. So yeah, basically buy the PS5s, don't get the PS4s. It's as simple as that. But yeah, I mean, the Pilot Sport 4s were great. You know, the sidewalls didn't wear out prematurely like they did on the Super Sports on track, and the overall tread wear was decent. You know, I have no complaints. So if the PS5s take that to the next level, then it's a win-win. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video and enjoyed the review, and potentially it's helped you make a purchase decision on your next tyres. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave us a like and a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the PS4s, what your experience has been with them, and what car you've run them on. So let me know. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.